This is the story of a scammer who got scammed himself. Our story begins with a man named Roman Seleznev, a Russian national who spent most of his adult life in Florida, but he had recently moved to Belgrade, Serbia. There's no information about why he did that, but it may have been because Serbia has no extradition agreement with the United States and Russia, that or he wanted to be closer to one of his favorite countries, Montenegro. You know, just relax on the beach, scam people from there. But regardless, after settling into his new home in 2016, he started looking for something to scam, and what better place than the internet? This was when he met the victim only referred to as Jared. These two strangers became fast friends, bonding over their shared love of, well, we're not exactly sure what they bonded over, but that doesn't matter. What matters is that Roman decided that Jared was the perfect person to scam. He began by asking Jared for small favors, like getting gift cards for him or getting him money from the bank. Jared, being the good friend that he was, did all this without hesitation. One day, Roman asked Jared if he could get him $800, and Jared was hesitant because that was a lot more than he had ever asked for before. But he still agreed and sent the money to an account held by someone named Andre. So Roman called up Jared and gave him an ultimatum. Either give me the 50 grand or I will expose your secret. And what secret, you ask? Well, apparently during their online friendship, Jared had shared with him that he was gay. Now, if you're thinking that this isn't a very threatening thing, then you've clearly never lived in a conservative country or a region where being gay can get you beaten up or even killed. This was definitely the case in Belgrade, where coming out could put Jared in real danger. But there was a problem. Jared didn't have $50,000 and was unable to get it even if he wanted to. So he told Roman that he was sorry, but he couldn't get him that much. But this wasn't good enough for Roman, and as a result, he went ahead and exposed Jared, posting on social media that he knew a gay dude and even saying that he knew he was gay too. And if anyone wanted to find out more, they should reach out to him directly. Thankfully, while homophobic people were quick to respond to Roman's post, no one ended up finding out Jared's identity. So he avoided the fate of being beaten up or worse. But this still wasn't good enough for Roman, who continued bothering him, telling him that he was a coward for not giving him the money, and that he would continue posting about him unless he got the 50,000. And while none of those posts revealed Jared's identity, the fact that he had to constantly be worried about this happening was taking a toll on his mental health. It was clear that Roman wasn't going to stop until he got what he wanted. So Jared had no choice but to give in and give him the money. He took out a loan against his house and sent Roman the money, hoping that this would be the end of it. But it wasn't. Roman continued scamming him, stealing another $70,000 from him. And despite Jared changing his phone number and trying to avoid him, Roman found him on various social media platforms, continuing to extort him. And this is where things take a turn. For the first time in his life, Jared decided to fight back. He took these screenshots of his conversation with Roman, posted them online, and called him out as a homophobic scammer. And while this did garner some attention, Roman didn't seem too concerned about it. He simply responded by saying, "Don't try to clean your dirty hands with my blood." But this was when Jared got a brilliant idea. He decided to go to VKontakte, one of the biggest social media platforms in Russia, and translated the post and uploaded it there, calling out Roman in his own mother tongue. And this is when things got bad for Roman. As soon as his fellow Russians saw that he was scamming and blackmailing people, they flooded his page with comments calling him out and even threatening him. They called him a thief and said that they would kill him if they ever saw him. And the worst part was that many of these guys weren't even Russians, showing that karma spares no one. Even homophobic scammers are hated by other homophobic people. But that wasn't all. While everyone was calling him out, someone with a lot more power than them reached out to Jared. Apparently, the guy that Roman used to receive the money, Andre, was actually a cop. After seeing Jared's post, he decided to investigate further and realized that he had been scammed as well. Turns out Roman had scammed many other people too. And now that the police were aware of this, they went ahead and arrested him. We don't have much information about how long he stayed in jail, but he was eventually released and fled to Thailand, where he lived under the alias Peter Sellers. But this is where things get really interesting. While living in Thailand, he went ahead and started scamming people once again, targeting women this time. He posed as a billionaire businessman from Germany who had lost his wife and kids in a car accident and was interested in having a relationship with them. The poor women fell for it and ended up sending him a total of $5 million, but thankfully, he was finally caught and sentenced to 9 years in prison. Now, as you might expect, his time in Thai prison wasn't very pleasant. At one point, he was even stabbed in the neck, likely by one of the inmates he had scammed. But he survived the attack and was transferred to a different prison in 2022. But he wasn't there for long. In August of 2022, he was transferred back to Russia and sentenced to 14 years in a penal colony. We're not sure why they sent him back to Russia instead of making him face justice in Thailand, but that's what happened. And according to the news reports, his family has visited him several times since then. Hopefully, he'll be able to turn his life around and become a better person. But we're not holding our breath. Anyway, do you know any crazy stories about scammers getting scammed? Then make sure to share them with us, and thanks for watching.